ಈಗ ನಾವು ಹೋಗೋಣ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ what is the speciality of 19th century English literature? According to me, the very emergence or popularity of novels. The form English fiction or the novel became very popular, very dominant form of literature at the end of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th century. Different kinds of the novels were written, different kinds of the theories were practiced, and the most advanced theory like psychoanalytical novel to the family novels, were written. From Henry Fielding to James Joyce, we have innumerable practices and experiences in the field of the fiction, writing fiction. And here I would like to discuss three important writers. One is Sir Walter Scott. Scott wrote novels based on the culture of Scotland. Walter Scott is remembered in the history of English literature both as a great poet as well as the great novelist. Most of the novels written by Sir Walter Scott, they talk about the problems and culture of Scotland. We have another important writer. His name is Thomas Hardy. Hardy too has written novels. All his novels are considered as Wessex novels. His novels, it may be Tess of the D'Urberville or any novel, take the example. They all talk about Wessex. For your kind information, Wessex is an imaginary land. It talks about, they discuss all the characters emerged from the Wessex. Plots and themes were also based on the Wessex belief, and characters, those who appear in the novels of Thomas Hardy, are from Wessex. Simultaneously, we have two important writers. One is Charles Dickens. His Great Expectations, Hard Times, David Copperfield, any novel, they all talk about a total atmosphere, total culture of the Britain. What is the difference between the novels of the Thomas Hardy, Charles Dickens and Walter Scott? Sir Walter Scott writes about Scotland, and his novels are full of the notion of nativism, nativity. Charles Dickens' novels are based on the cities of England, and they talk of red tapeism, the life of the bootleggers, downtrodden society, and cosmopolitan problems, educational problems. They are the novels which talk problems in general. Third one, Thomas Hardy also has written novels, but his novels his characters emerge from the utopian area named Wessex. Now, the question is, the word nativism is properly suitable only to Sir Walter Scott. For example, we may extend this discussion to the Kannada literature also. There are some of the novels written in Kannada, but one novel is even today very, very popular, and it is discussed as very important novel in the study of nativism. That is Mirji Anna Rai's Nisarga, a novel Nisarga. There is lot of difference between ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ನೇಟಿವ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೇಟಿವಿಸಮ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೇಟಿವಿಸಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕತೆ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೇಟಿವಿಸಮ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೇಟಿವ್ ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕತೆ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. There is one beautiful research in Kannada literature, that is ಕನ್ನಡ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳು. The list is very big. Lot of writers and books are there, novels are there. All they are ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳು. For example, novel based on the language and culture belonging to the area of Dharwad district, Bijapur district, Mangalore district, Bidar, Gulbarga. Okay, you can, many such novels and novelists are there. The list is big. Whereas when we talk of the nativism, we have very few writers who are identified as native writers. And Mirji Annarai's Nisarga is one such novel. In this way, nativism views literature as an activity taking place within a specific language. I hope you are understanding what I am trying to say. It is an activity. It is an activity taking place within a specific language. Language is the first symbol, is a hallmark of the native. For example, Devanuru Mahadeva's Kusuma Bale. Sir Walter Scott's some of the novels. Then they are native. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳು ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ಬಳಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೇಟಿವ್ ಕಾದಂಬರಿಗಳು ಆ ಪ್ರದೇಶದ ಇಡಿಯಮ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ಜಾನುಡಿಗಳನ್ನು, ನಾಣ್ಣುಡಿಗಳನ್ನು, ಮಿತ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ತವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್. For example, Marathi or Gujarati, and bound by the rules of the discourse native to the language of its origin. Okay, Pannalal Patel's novels. Read the Pannalal Patel's novels. You will come across a lot of Gujarati idioms, and many a time this native culture and native literature is alien or entirely new to a person belonging to the other community and culture. ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಅನೇಕ ಸಾರಿ ನೇಟಿವ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ನ ಅರಗಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದರ ರೀಜನಲಿಸಮ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕತೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನೇಟಿವಿಸಮ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Okay, when we talk in our general discussion, sorry sir, it is a native culture which cannot be most of the native things cannot be translated. They cannot be translated because it is very much the aura, the smell of that area. Okay, it is inseparable from a particular culture or living style. It understands writing as a social act and expects of it an ethical sense of commitment to the society in which it is born. It is the expectation of the nativism. If you want to be a writer of a sense of nativism, okay, then you must be aware of all the native practices. All the writers. For example, in Indian writings in English, one who has written the Freedom at Midnight. Yaradu? Who wrote Freedom at Midnight? Okay, take this. Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children. No doubt it is about then it is a novel about the partition of India. Okay, but this novel is written to the Western society, for the Western readers. Here the characters, the scenes from the Bombay, okay, they are beautifully explained. The whole story of the partition is being explained in the novel. But the point is, it has no native aura, native culture. Bombay is just a platform where an action is going on. Got the point? So, in this way, in an Indian context, nativism is to offer an alternative way of reading India's past. Okay, if you want to understand what was India, what were the practices of India, so you have to read all that literature which is based on the native culture. Okay, so he says in Indian context, nativism is to offer an alternative way of reading India's past, culture, literature and languages. He says the features of a nativism is possible only in these three areas. When you talk of the culture, you can feel the nativity of a writer. When you observe the literature written by a particular author, you can come across the native smell. And third one is the language. You know, even today, if I stand and talk Kannada, use Kannada, suddenly people will identify me as a man of Bijapur, because my Kannada is highly influenced by the accent and language pattern of my native land. And this way must be non-colonial and non-globalized. Okay, it's in a way it cannot be globalized. You cannot globalize nativism. Okay, understanding about one's own literature, it is just an attempt in understanding. Nanage Walt Whitman ana kavya ideyalla. Walt Whitman is one of the important writers of American literature. Most of the part of the poem, The Leaves of the Grass, I couldn't understand. I did not understand, because most of the terms and idioms and the examples that he has taken are used in his poem. They belong to the native culture of America. And even most of the Americans may not be knowing of them, because Walt Whitman belongs to one of the earliest pages of American literary history. Okay, so according to the socialists, nativism is a dialectic relationship between self and other. ನನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನವರಲ್ಲದವರ ಮಧ್ಯದ ಒಂದು ಭಾಷಿಕ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನೇಟಿವಿಸಮ್.